And here we are live to dive in, as is always a pleasure, as was our pre go live conversation. I am honored. I'm already vibing with our guest of honor. I present to you, good people, MIB, Master Toy Museum 1979 MIB. Welcome for the first time to the Mr. C channel.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. First time, and like I said, it feels like it felt like, or it feels like I've already been here. That's how well I know you and Fanboy. So, man, it's a pleasure. I am honored to be on the show tonight, and I am looking forward to all the fun things that we have in store.
Let's bring the comment section into the play, and we'll go in reverse order. So Ted Adam Green says that wow. Oh, look at that. That's the composite Superman Batman. Oh, that's a masterful picture, logo screen image to have with that.
Ted, it exists too. It's nice.
Now I'm going. Here's where going out of order got me in trouble. Fanboy Cantina says MIB is the best, and to that, Ted Adam Green says he really is.
No, you guys are too kind.
Now, going back to the reverse order, just prior to that, Ted says he's excited to hear the MIB tonight. And our first commenter of the evening, Michaela Stormer, also known as Store Ghoulie. Michaela, there's a whole lot to talk about. There's a whole lot to. Now, we're going to try to get to some Sven tonight, Michaela. We're going to try to get to Ohio-centered horror host Big Chuck and Little John. But we got a whole lot of stuff, and if we don't get to everything tonight, similar to my last show with Gary, we'll put it out. We'll put it out again to come back to it.
But part two.
we'll go again. Again. It has been cool to speak to MIB previously on the Fanboy Cantina channel, where if memory serves, that was your first guest appearance on a different YouTube channel that is not your own channel.
That's correct. That's correct.
We get to plant that flag. I'll carry that around
all over again. Right.
And now here we are on the close partner channel, the Fanboy Cantina, right over here. Spoilers, everybody. Fanboy G wanted to show up, but it's Godzilla Fest. And so when Godzilla Fest was local to Chicago, we had to cover that. We can't have a Godzilla Fest go on and not have field coverage of Godzilla Fest.
We have to have it. Right.
All right. So I guess we had some I guess we'll come to the hat in a minute, but we did want to acknowledge this wasn't originally part of the show notes, but we have some people who have passed on, and we wanted to take a couple minutes to reflect on James Earl Jones, and then there's another couple of names also. So I will not profess to be an expert in James Earl Jones, but just in Googling around, of course, I think his most prominent role that he's most known for is the voice of Darth Vader. Yeah. But then looking around a little bit, he had been on Sesame Street. He had been in Conan the Barbarian. He had been pretty recently playing himself on Big Bang Theory sitcom show.
Yeah.
So, I mean, thanks and appreciation to James Earl Jones for having such a diverse and long-lasting career that he provided for us so many venues, so many vehicles of entertainment. MIB, your thoughts on the career of James Earl Jones?
Oh, wow. You did a fantastic job at really just covering a lot of the shows that and movies that he's been a part of. Listen, he's been a part of our entire life. You know, I'm 54 years old, and how old was he? He was 93 when he passed, right?
Yeah.
93 years old. I wish somebody told me right now I will live to be 93. That would be just a blessing, a true blessing. But to do it, to have such a full life, the way James Earl Jones had, just with so many fantastic roles and accomplishments that he and just the millions and millions of people he touched. It's just phenomenal. So I was a little sad, but I was, I was more happy in the sense that this man lived to be 93 years old and lived such a full life. You know, he wasn't taken from us early. You know, he's nearly 100 years old, nearly 100. So God bless him and his family and the millions and millions of fans that he has touched in some way, some form of fashion. And like I said, I came to know him as the voice of Darth Vader, and I think he was Mustafa in Lion King.
Another one of his better known or most
Right.
prominently known roles.
Yeah, and I mean, there was a few more that stick in my head. I can't really. I wish I could pull them out right now, but I can see him in these movies. But just fantastic, just a fantastic actor, and from hearing about him and from other people, obviously a beautiful human being as well. So, and like I said, he'll always be Darth Vader to me, though.
Right. So again, that's some of our earliest memories are the visual and the booming voice of Darth Vader from our early childhood.
Yes.
And now I didn't connect the dots, but so somewhere in that buried memory, he's there on Sesame Street in his youth, in his relative youth, talking about here's the alphabet, here's the numbers. So probably, deep in there was an even pre-Star Wars memory of James Earl Jones, and glad to have Chai Star along, who's also recognizing and important the voice of CNN. So
Yes.
let's not forget that amongst James Earl Jones's many accomplishments.
The voice. That's just the voice.
Right. The
voice
of
voice.
Semicolon.
Right.
Vader,
the voice.
Star Wars, the
Right.
voice.
The voice.
All right, now MIB. So of course, James Earl Jones was known widely, a little bit closer to home. Again, we want to have a celebratory atmosphere here, but we also want to have a recognition. You would often on MIB Master Toy Museum 1979 channel mention toy collector and collaborator of yours, Roberto Ligotti.
Yes.
So I knew to speak on that. And just before we went live here, you also informed me of Dwayne Pickney and his recent passing.
Yes.
So we just want to take a moment to recognize that two contributors to the community, two contacts of yours have in their youth and in short succession have close in time passed on together. So I guess can we go Roberto first? I know you bought and you say purchase. You purchased many items from Roberto over time. If you could speak on your connection with him.
Oh my goodness, Roberto, I consider a dear friend, a collecting buddy, just an overall good guy, and I think a universally respected human being. Just especially in the toy community, and just to know him, talk to him a few times. That we just that was an easy connection. Because we both enjoyed our collections and collectibles. I didn't realize how knowledgeable he was with just the history of toys and how big a collector he was. This guy was a bigger collector than me. So he would go to all of the toy shows, the Mego meets, and so I mean talking to him and listening to his conversations about all these toy collections and stuff, I got to think, hey, you know what? There's some stuff in my collection that there's some items that I'm missing. Who better to reach out to? And we talked about this backstage, about just knowing people from other walks of life that have the same connections that you do and have know a little bit more than you, to have them, to know them and to be able to reach out to them is fantastic. So really, I did this before Roberto passed away because I just wanted to honor him. And I'm so happy that I was able to honor him in life, before before he passed. But I got so many items from him. I was just texting at night and he would text back, say, yeah, I got that. You looking for that? Yeah, I said, I've been looking for that for like about 10 years, for a decade or 2 decades. He said, I got that, you know, and fair with the prices and always willing to help out. And I had to make, in his honor, I had to make a playlist on my channel of all the items he gave me, you know, that I purchased from him. And I call it the Roberto Ligotti collection. And so, I mean, that's, and you can check that out on my channel. There's so many items on there, and there might be items that, you know, you'll see and remind you as a collector of, you know, stuff that you've had when you were a kid or growing up. So it's fun. Just and like I said, it was just, that was a tough one because it was extremely unexpected. And I still remember asking my good buddy Lou Melogramma, if he had heard anything, because we hadn't heard from Roberto in maybe a couple days. We knew he had gone into the hospital. He wasn't feeling well. And about a week passed, I believe. I want to say about a week, maybe 3 or 4 days, almost a week. And I remember telling Lou, I wish for the 5 seconds that I had, I could take that back, because inside, before that, he was still alive. You know, before I asked Lou, had he heard from him, and Lou, being Lou, reached out to a lot of people that were connected to our good buddy Roberto, and I remember Lou calling me back and he was just, you know, in tears over the phone, and I just remember him telling me, say, Johnny, we lost him. And I said, oh man. So that one hit me right in the stomach. So that was a tough one, and unfortunate. But he's in you know, I would like to think he's in a better place, and he's not suffering. So
there it is.
Yeah.
And I feel I knew of Roberto, and
Yeah.
I just like to hear you say his name, let alone then to show the items you were getting from him, purchasing from him, that he would send over to you. But now Dwayne, I don't feel I knew of Dwayne Pickney as much, or just before we went live was the first time I recall you speaking of his name. Right. So can you also speak on what was your connection with
Yeah,
Dwayne?
a fellow Ohioan. We found out that we were Ohio brothers. So, you know, and another good collecting buddy of mine. I've known about, I want to say about 4 or 5 years now. But he was also a subscriber to my channel, and that's really how we came to know each other, and through various collecting groups on Facebook. And so he would follow me on my channel, and he saw some things on my channel one day, and he messaged me. And this is back, this is around 2020. And he said, hey, do you have any of those Hasbro Universal Monsters that came out back in the late 1990s? And I said, you know what, Hasbro made those? I said, you know, I remember seeing those in the store. You know, because I was right in my G.I. Joe phase, the 12-inch G.I. Joe phase, because G.I. Joe was going pretty strong at that point. I said, you know what, I would have to make a decision. I didn't have the financial firepower that I have today. So I had to make a decision, but I wanted G.I. Joe. So I would see those. And I said, those are really cool. Wished I had them. Maybe I'll add some. And he was like, don't worry about it. And I said, okay. And a few days later in the mail, he said, I'm sending you something. Be expecting it in the mail. And he sent one. He actually sent two. But the other one was a surprise too. So he sent me the Mummy, and he sent me the Phantom of the Opera figures, both figures, and fantastic. And I said, man, those were just gifts. He just wanted to send. He said, you know, the museum didn't have them, and I wanted you to have them.
A generous donor to the curator of the museum.
Yes.
Man, let me say. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, and no, I'm just agreeing with you, and I'm like, yeah, just a generous guy, all around cool guy. Didn't have to do that, and like he said, he said, man, I love your channel. I love what you're doing. the preservation of these toys. And he said, I couldn't think of anybody better to have these because I know they were going to be in great hands. And that was a tough one to hear. Once again, I heard it from Lou, who announced it on our Migo Facebook page. And he, announced that Dwayne had passed on. And like it's once again, that was another punch in the gut because Dwayne was younger than me. I'm 54. He's 52.
Yeah.
So he's that's so to hear people my age passing on is difficult. I understand we're in our 50s, but James Earl Jones lived to be 93. 93. So, but those two dear friends, dear collecting buddies of the community, that's going to be sorely, sorely missed because both of those guys impacted a lot of people and were respected by a lot of people.
And I suppose I'll say, right, I never met either of them. So
Yeah.
who am I to speak of someone I don't know, but just through your eyes, both men of impeccable taste, specifically to be on the Hasbro.
Oh, you would have loved those guys.
No question,
Yeah.
question. Missed opportunity for me, but I'll just go vicariously through your connection with them. On the Hasbro 12-inch figures, as we know, our other pal, Nicole, the Barbie photo artist, uses that 12-inch Hasbro creature in her work. So, so definitely a man of impeccable taste. All right, so we will continue to try to live up to their names and continue to carry on the vibe that they had to offer. And that being said, let's go on and with our other subject matter. And if Ted is still around, so we have some people, the number of people actively watching is going up and down a little bit. Ted, if you're still around, you, sir, are the inspiration, at least the partial inspiration for that hat. So let me see if I can, if my little trying to get the share screen in a smoother way here. Let me see if I put us over on the side.
Oh, look at that.
And now here's the actual MIB on YouTube channel. Let's just play a little bit of MIB for MIB.
This is
to the
cool.
MIB Master Toy Museum. I'll be a curator today. And guys, more importantly than that, it's going to be a kid in a candy store today.
All right, clearly that's a 15-minute video, and we're going to stay in our own live.
Yeah.
So, made my day, guys. Well, we're just trying to, again, share that positive energy and make a day. So clearly I've watched that video, and clearly Ted is credited in there. And that was him. So Ted, if you can speak from the comments a little bit, how did you do the magic trick? How did you pull the rabbit out of the hat? And while Ted is hopefully getting his comment ready, MIB, tell us the history of the Surge figure.
Wow. You know what? Another fantastic. Ted is just a fantastic individual, very talented individual, and Ted is someone I've known for a while now. I think me and Ted go way back beyond 2020. I'm gonna say 2018, 2017, 26. I mean, we go way back, and that was all Ted. I had nothing. I wasn't even thinking about that. And Ted came up with that, which it really it blew my mind. It is one of my absolute favorite items, and it's so cool. I seldom go too straight. I don't stray too far without having this figure near me. And this, I can't zoom in too much, but
well, here, let me switch spots with you, and let me now I'll need a little second to do my gymnastics, but let me get you in the first spot, and then let me go isolate. There you go.
Yeah, but this figure has so much happening with it, by way of his outfit and his backstory, everything from this is like I said, this is all Ted's thinking, and Ted and a lot of very talented people that helped Ted really put this entire piece together. But it's got the little backstory up here. It's got all these little hidden Easter eggs, as I call it, in this figure. You know, it's so much. You can, if you watch the video, you know, if you go to my YouTube channel and you watch the video on this figure, you'll see it. You know, because I can't do it justice like this. But on the video, I do some serious close-ups of all of the information, all of the hidden Easter eggs, everything that Ted envisioned for this figure and for me as a superhero. Is like, listen, you can't beat becoming a superhero and having your own action figure, and you just can't go make your own action figure. The cool part about it is somebody else thought enough of me to make an action figure of me, and I can't thank Ted enough for that. Just and one of the most generous human beings on the planet. You know, just a cool guy. He's a Georgia guy. Yeah, he's a Georgia Bull guy, Georgia Bulldog guy. I'm a Michigan guy. Yeah, I was born in Michigan. James Earl Jones grew up in Michigan, was raised in Michigan, so there's a good connection. But yeah, but he's a Georgia guy, and generally, Michigan and Georgia fans really don't get along that well, but we do. We get along fantastically, and so I thank him for that that figure. And I was just, like I said, I was just blown away by the time and the effort that it took to create something like that. And that was a gift that was sent to me. And like I said, and I don't. When did I make that video?
Here,
this has to be about. Was that 2020?
It says here. Let me scroll for a second while I'm looking. I won't be able to see the actual, but the
time flies.
It's 2 years ago, so I could.
2 years. So 2 years. 2022.
Yeah. Here, let me hit more on there. And November 19 of 2021 is your actual date on it.
Look at that. I was close. So nearly 3 years. And that time flies so fast. It felt like yesterday when I got this figure, but this figure's been in the museum, in our main section of the museum, for more than a little bit over 3 years, better than 3 years now. So, Ted, I can't thank you enough, man. Just a great guy.
Now let's jump Crafter into the conversation. I'll work back to Ted's other comments. So yeah, Crafter, it is a great looking custom Flash. It is so customized that the name of this Flash family character is Surge. And now, as long as we got Crafter, I mentioned it. Crafter, I appreciate that you're looking to schedule with us. I did say soon on Casual Crafter channel. This Wolfman head here is a Crafter design. So Crafter's been, there he goes. Crafter's calling out Surge in the comments. So Crafter started out, of course, with the paint kit and the what do you call it? The Warbler and the molding, this and the mold. And now Crafter's J Spy said, look, guys, so you got to get on your own 3D printing. And Crafter took that to heart, and Crafter's got up and running on the 3D printing like a beast. So good to have Crafter, again, part of the community and part of the comment section. Good to have Crafter around. Crafter, you'll note I got the J Spy kit right up there behind me. Let me come back to Ted's comment. Ted did the artwork for the card, and the rest is history. Johnny is truly deserving, and it needed to be. So Russ Yoakum. I don't know of Russ Yoakum. MIB, how much do you know about Russ Yoakum, or does Ted need to drop another couple of comments to tell us about Russ?
That's going to be all Ted. This was a team that Ted really got together with, and I just know that a lot of people, talented people like Russ, got in on this project and put this fantastic figure together. And it's like I said, I can't say enough for all the people involved in doing that. Yeah, I feel special. So I saying it made my day would be doing it an injustice, because it was more than that. I mean, like I said, I was truly beyond honored to have them do, have Ted and his guys do get together and do that. A lot of people put a lot of hours, into coming up with, with the design and these the outfit is, like I said, it looks, it looks definitely, they just didn't go on a place, any of these toy places where you can just grab this outfit. This was put together, this was stitched and sewn, and I mean a lot of, man hours were put involved with this. So
Yes.
like I said, I really appreciate that.
Ted is telling us that Russ made the composite Superman and other custom Migos. So already I'm saying Russ and Casual Crafter have some things in common right there. I don't, Crafter, do you know of Russ? Please jump into the comments, or are we just you and I learning of Russ together? That's either way, it's kind of cool, whatever your answer may be. But now let me.
What do we talk about that those communities just getting to know each other and coming together and finding new people and meeting new people with gifts and talents.
So Crafters, let me say, I love when Crafter cuts to the chase, because
Right.
in reference to the horror movies, I'm trying to think of what is the technical terminology for the lighting, where the light is lower to create the shadow image upshot. And then Crafter, in his cut to the chase way, he's like, well, everybody knows if you put the flashlight under your face, you look scary from the flashlight.
Right.
So I like the when Crafter cuts to the chase on like that. But let me come over here. Russ is available to make dreams come true with Migos of your heart's desire, as good as customizing gets. So again, across the continuum, you, the custodian, the preserver, the archaeologist of toys, the fossil curator, keeping toys in a pristine condition, because otherwise there might not be a live representation, a 3D representation of the toy as it appeared when it came out. And on the other side, then there's the customizing that Ted and Russ and Crafter are involved in. And it is a beautiful thing to be on the one and the other, and to traverse the bridge between the two.
Yes. And Casual Crafter, I'm a huge fan of his channel, of his work. And I'll tell you something, I think he sent me something. Casual Crafter, I want to say it right now. You sent me something, a setup of I'm not saying the word right, of like a little diorama.
There
But
you
it was
go.
a setup. But he sent me in sections that had to be put together. But because I'm so listen, you laugh, you know what I'm about to say, because it was so neatly packaged, and it was, nothing was taken out or moved. I couldn't literally, it's an illness. It's an illness, Casual Crafter. It sits in its own section of the museum. And I need to take some pictures of it at some point. With Casual Crafter over top. This is a gift from Casual Crafter. Everybody that's had anything to do with sending me something, especially something from somebody as talented as Casual Crafter, it has to have its own place in a museum.
Oh, that might be not.
He said there's a cure for that.
All right.
I've been, you know what? I'm like David Banner from the 1970s Hulk. It's not that I don't want to be cured, okay? But this creature exists in me, of not wanting to take anything out of its packaging. I can't bring myself to do it. I want to do it sometimes, and believe me, there's some there's been some items in my collection that I've been itching to say, you know what, maybe I should take it. No, it's just the illness is too. No, the illness is too strong. I'll tell you how bad it is. I'll tell you how bad the illness is. I had an item that I'm just going to use. We're talking about Star Wars, right? So one of my cooler favorite Star Wars collectibles here is my 12-inch Kenner Star Wars Darth Vader. But I'll use this as an example. So, but one of the items I had in here fell off my shelf one day. I was doing some work down in the museum. Right. I know that's those eyes. Right. And it dented the corner. I put it in a box and I notified one of my friends and said, "Hey, I'm sending you something." He said, "What?" I told him what it was. Are you kidding me? He said, "What happened? You know, is the toy destroyed?" I said, "No." I said, there, it has a ding in the corner, the upper right-hand corner. I can't use it no more. I can't use it. I can't do it.
It literally fell from grace.
It literally fell from grace. And I've had that happen maybe 5 or 6 times in the last 30 years of collecting. And I've mailed them all off. I've given them away. It's just, I'm that guy in the toy section that'll probably drive you absolutely insane if you work there and you're trying to stock shelves or something. I'm going to stand there. Perfect example. I was in Walmart Friday and looking at a toy, and the guy had just, God bless him, he had just stacked all these toys, but because they weren't perfect in box condition, I was moving them each one out the way and going further and further back, and he was standing there like this. He was like, right. And I made my way all the way back. There was like about 7 of these action figures, and I finally found the right one, and it was like the 7th one all the way to the back. So I moved all those out, but I did tell him, I said, I'm gonna fix it. He said, "Hey, man, no, I understand. I said, collector is an illness, man." He started laughing. He's like, right. He said, "So you're not gonna open it?" I said, "No,
Because it's
you just wanted one that was perfect." Right.
MIB,
I'm sorry.
I love it. But that to me, right, obviously there's a great many stories you could tell that I have not heard yet, as was that specific story that you just told. And again, that's a priceless individual day in the life, moment in the life. So that's good times ahead. Now, I'm glad Crafter was cutting up already a little bit, saying there's a cure for that, because that opens the door to cut up a little bit. And I say this, I'm okay, I'm already, there were 2 thefts that occurred here. In the order in which they occurred, one of them, let me backtrack a little bit, build a little suspense. MIB's typical broadcast time is Saturday morning, hence the opening commentary. Guys, it's Saturday morning. We're down here for more fun, more excitement. We're in the museum. We're drinking coffee on Saturday morning. And then when does Crafter start to release his episodes? In the well-established time slot that is the MIB time slot. Crafter stole your Saturday morning bid. And then also, Ted, if you're still here, the idea for this hat, which MIB has donned right now, right here in this moment, was obviously stolen from your Surge creation. So all this cheeriness, but let me acknowledge on the other side of the coin, there are 2 thefts involved in all this celebratory way.
Well, I tell you this, Casual Crafty, he didn't just steal the time slot. He stole some of my my subscribers too, because I had a lot of people telling me about, say, "Have you heard of Casual Crafter?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have." They said, "Oh man, he comes on Saturdays." I apologize, man, but his shows actually comes on a little bit. It links. It hits my link first before yours do. I said, "Look at that! Wow!" So I watch Casual Crafters, videos on Saturdays. So really, in between what I'm doing down here in the museum, I always, man, I love you too, man. I always watch his shows. Another, like I said, just a super talented guy, But I like that. We don't steal. We just honor each other, right, Ted?
Right. And Ted wants to bring it back to niceness and positivity.
Right.
Be impolite of me.
Yeah.
That way. I just had to make my comedic reference of a theft.
Right. I told I told Krista that Ted was gonna go crazy when he saw this hat, because when I saw it, this is a gift from Chris. Like he said, I can't thank you enough, man. I got this. Was not expecting this. Was not expecting this, and I got this in the mail, and I pulled it out, and I said, "Get out of here!" And I said, "Surge, there it is." And my wife recognized it too. She's, "Oh my goodness! Now you got the action figure, you got the hat too." So I said I had to wear this for the show. Absolutely. I mean, I never go anywhere without the MIB hat, but I said, there's no way I gotta, I have to don this today. This is good taste.
I don't mean to actually adjust the physical hats in that kind of way. I'm just saying, back in the day in the Chicago area, right? We had Bozo, and the other morning show we had was Ray Rayner's show, and he would show.
I watched the Bozo show. Yeah.
Right. So Ray Rayner would show the cartoons and then do bits, and he had a live Duck Galveston in the studio, all this stuff. But then he'd come to the sports desk and he'd be talking about the Cubs and the Sox. So he had a combo hat, Cubs on the front, Sox on the back. So whichever score or game report he did first, then he'd flip the hat around. The hat had two bills on it. So I'm not saying to actually hybrid up the MIB hat and the Surge hat, but it just reminded me of that kind of dynamic. When you get the one hat and the other hat, then yeah, sometimes it's good to have two hats.
I get the Bozo that came on, because now listen, I had back in the day in the early 80s, 82, 83, we had cable TV, right?
Right.
And which was fantastic, because we actually got channels from Chicago, and one of my favorite channels is WGN.
That's right.
And I remember that. Yeah, so that was the Bozo used to come on that channel, and I was a huge fan of that show. Yeah, him and Cookie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, his Cookie.
Right. So, and we're talking about shows. There was another. That was a cool show. So that was the equivalent. I know I might be off of our little thing, but I'll get it back.
Hey, our thing is wherever we are.
Yeah. But that was the Bozo show was the equivalent of our Cleveland, Ohio show. Saturday morning show there was a show called and anybody from Cleveland or Ohio would know this show, Superhost. And Superhost would show a lot of actually Godzilla movies and some scary movies, but he was a Saturday afternoon guy. He was a 12 noon. I got my my cocoa or whatever I was a snack, and I got ready for the for Superhost show. So, and he actually, and you can do information on that and check him out later, Chris. But he had the red nose and he had the blue outfit, Superman outfit. Naturally, it was baggy. It was it was more of a comedic spin on it. And he had the Chuck Taylors on and the red silk cape on and stuff. But just a great guy. So and a great show. So I just thought about that. That was the counterpart to the Bozo show. Superhost.
All right, definitely. I will do some homework on Superhost.
Yeah.
As we said, we'll come back again to be determined when and speak on these joyous, fun topics of our youth and our years in addition to our youthful years. But so let's take this as the bridge. Superhost local TV.
Yeah.
I know we've spoken a bit on it as Svengoolie became a nationwide guy, but you also had your local guys, Big Chuck
and Little John.
Tell us what you can or what you can reflect on.
Oh, well, listen, I can go a little further back. So I came to Cleveland, Ohio in 1974. Okay, from Michigan, Detroit, Michigan, and one of the shows I vividly remember watching with my brothers on Friday nights, from like 75, 76, 77, all the way through. I've watched Big Chuck and Little John pretty much my entire life, but especially in the 70s, it was real special in the 70s. But it wasn't the Big Chuck and Little John show first. It was the Houlihan and Big Chuck show.
Yes.
So Houlihan and Big Chuck Okay, so they were first, and then Houlihan left, and then that's when Little John, who was already doing skits and stuff with them to begin with, he teamed up with Big Chuck and Little John, and I think that's when it really took off to another stratosphere. So it really took off to another stratosphere. The skits that I remember are ingrained in my mind now, so much so that I had my kids watching Big Chuck and Little John, show on YouTube, and they have favorite skits from that show. And one of those favorite skits, and you can check this out, and any of you guys can get on YouTube and just punch up Big Chuck and Little John and punch up this particular skit. It's called The Junk Food Junkie. Okay. And I think the Junk Food Junkie skit really hits all of us in a certain way, because we're all trying to maybe stay in shape, maybe lose a few pounds after the holidays, or you're just struggling to stay away from junk food. But the whole skit is that this guy is the gentleman that plays, I can't think of his name, but he's a great actor, comedic actor too. And all these guys were local guys here in Cleveland. So it's really cool. But this guy, the whole thing is based around him being this really super healthy guy. But it says, and the whole song is really cool though. Yeah, in the morning I'm just as healthy and natural as I can be. But when that clock hits midnight, Lord, have pity on me. And he's going to his safe, and he's pulling out Hostess cupcakes and Twinkies and Dr. Pepper and Fritos, and he's in heaven, So the whole skit is just based on him living a lie. And then they say he staggered out and from he got caught in the morning afternoon with a Big Mac on his breath, and he's at McDonald's, and he staggered out of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was just I mean, as a kid, I was on the floor just dying laughing, and at the same time wanting a Twinkie because the way he was eating made it look so good. It's like, oh my goodness. But those skits like that, and he touched on oh, look at that. Ted said he subbed to you.
Stealing more subs, right?
Yeah. Casual. He said he subbed. Hey, listen, go ahead, Casual. But yeah, so skits like that, and they did one back when Saturday Night Fever was big, and Big Chuck did a skit on naturally the spinoff of a funny spinoff of Saturday Night Fever, which was hilarious. Those skits like that, man, they're timeless, and even now, there was the song that they played when the show was about to be over. Is this the end? I can't think of the young lady that sang the song, but it was just you didn't even want the show to be over with. So just fun times, a part of our childhood that was just beautiful. Just beautiful. And another skit he did was Ben Crazy, which is another hilarious skit. But they just pop in my head now. But Friday nights, I eventually moved to Saturday nights, but the Friday nights were the best. The best.
Man, again, anyway, so at your suggestion or at your notification, and let me say, Big Chuck and Little John are in the Horror Host Hall of Fame, as are many great local. And this is again, part of the cool thing, right? We didn't grow up next door from each other, but there's a common bond of locally produced TV delivering the comedy, firing on all cylinders. Yeah. And I want to say, just take a mini detour further back in history in the Cleveland area than in the previous, maybe the OG horror host of the area, Goulardi, and there's anybody but Tim Conway, who then went on to the Carol Burnett show, was one of the original writers with them too. So, I mean, packed in talent across the years. But so let me say, the vehicle of the skit comedy and the other vehicle of the song parody. So these are common tools of the regional horror host or the, then, as I've said before, you know, at the time when I'm a kid and I'm watching Svengoolie, it's, you know, it's horror movies and he's, you know, coming out of a coffin. And I'm thinking how different that was from Bozo the Clown coming around with the clown makeup and hey. But you look at the similarities of their vaudevillian influences or going farther back in time, and it is energizing. It is cool stuff. It is part of having not just entertainment, but having a fabric around you when you're in your formative years. It's a beautiful thing.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I second everything you said. I'm right there with you. I mean, just thinking about it, like I said, Goulardi and Svengoolie, you know, Bozo the Clown, Superhost. I mean, Elvira. I mean, look, it was for me. It was TV heaven. It was because it was fun. You got to see some great shows with a spin on it, and there was never a dull moment watching those shows, and I look forward to them. Naturally I enjoyed the hosts of the shows more than the actual movies that they were showing because they were so chopped up and stuff, you know. But I mean, we just love the skits. We love the commentary from the hosts or hostesses, you know. So it was just a fun time. I tell you this, I don't know if we'll ever see that again. I truly believe we are the kids from the 1970s. We had it the best. We had it absolutely the best. And if there's any kids from the 1960s, that you can throw them in there as well. But I think from the 60s and 70s, we'll never see those type of shows again. And I think that's just another reason why I try to inject some of that life's blood through some of my videos and some of the things I do here at the museum. And it's history. It's all history. You know, we're talking about shows that's some of these shows are, you know, some of these shows like Elvira still around to a degree, but a lot of these shows, you know, we're talking about shows that 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
And to quote you and your standard commentary, you guys more fun, more excitement from the museum. So and now again, transition to transition, and it's I think we're just in a. I'm gonna be okay. I don't want to toot our own horn, but I think we're just in a groove for the transitions here in this conversation. Yeah. So you're mentioning Elvira, and so happens here I have an inbox Elvira. So I was gonna like if we can replicate the MIB style review. Now let me say to have a true proper MIB review, the camera moves to where the item is.
Right.
I tried to do the setup for the curator camera, couldn't get it to connect. So not pure MIB, but MIB. So have you done a review on a NECA Toonie Terror figure on your channel before? I don't think so, but
no, I haven't. All
right.
There's the first time for everything, right?
Troublemaker crafter.
Open it quick, right?
All right. So here we go. MIB, take it away. Like we're doing a review of an inbox Elvira as though we're on the MIB channel.
I'll give you the voiceover and everything. Welcome to the MIB Master Toy Museum. I will be your curator today. Guys, we're down here in the museum on a Saturday evening, hanging out with Chris Conley on his show. And we have a fantastic offering for you today. Elvira, Toonie Terrors from NECA Toys. And I believe this is for her 40th anniversary, guys. Elvira's 40th anniversary. I can't believe it's been that long. We have a fantastic toy here. And guys, we always like to point out the box and the artwork included with this fantastic figure, guys, because the box art truly tells a story all of its own. This is why, guys, like I said, I can't ever bring myself to take anything off the packaging because it's a part of history. And I actually have to get this toy. That's just a little taste, guys.
I'm beaming sunshine by my face behind the
Yeah.
box. I'm beaming
That's
sunshine. And this one, she doesn't have any accessories with her, but that's okay. And the other edition, I shouldn't have moved over there, but she also comes with the couch and her dog sidekick, Gronk, I think is the name of the dog. So, man, that was good fun. That was good fun.
The biggest, how can I say this? So I was out at a Target one day, and I just do the videos. I do my YouTube channel, and my wife said, you can't hear how you really sound. So you have a familiar sound, but you won't know that familiar sound because you talk all the time. You do these videos all the time. We were out at a Target, and I was pointing something out, an action figure or something. I was talking to somebody, and I think it was a worker. I was asking him some questions about this figure, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder. It was a gentleman, an older gentleman, and he said, "Hey, I don't want to seem. I'm not a crazy person." And I was like, "Okay. I'm glad we established that." And I said, "Okay." He was like, "I'm going to take a shot in the dark here, but do you have a YouTube channel by the name of MIB Master Toy Museum?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He was like, "I'm on the other side of the aisle with my wife, and I hear your voice." I had to drop what I was doing to come around to see if this voice matched up to who I thought it was. And I said, he told his wife, "I'm just going to take a shot here. This guy might cuss me out." But yeah, I said, "I am." And so my wife said, "That just made your day, didn't it?" I said, "Yeah, it did." How cool is that? So to hear somebody come up to you and shake your hand and say, "Hey, I subscribe to your channel, and I like what you do. I really like what he said." Just to see you. So we took a picture together, and he wanted to take a picture with me. But I just thought that was so cool.
As this crafter agrees, so cool. And again, that's just, hey, let's have the conversation. Let's happen to turn on the cameras also to share the story around a bit. But let's speak of these again, these little moments, the simple pleasures of life that make things identifiable, definable in a unique way, and a moment that came and passed, a moment may be repeated, may not be repeated, but
Right.
That's living life.
Yeah. And that just, like I said, it's just just another cool moment in time. I do the channel, my channel, really for me, because it's an outlet, and just to share all of my my toys and items here in the museum, with fellow collectors and enthusiasts and just people in general. Just I'm trying to keep our childhood alive for as long as I possibly can. Like, so I'm 54. I told my wife this. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. Hopefully, into my 80s. I don't know, but that's the goal. So, so much so that just on a serious note, I wanted to interject with this. Just really watching my health, paying more attention to my health. I've lost in the last, oh my goodness. And Chris, you got the last video with me, you and Fanboy Cantina. So you'll see a noticeable difference with me from that video to this video. That video, I was about 240 pounds. Right now, today, I'm 195. So it's all about taking good care of yourself, man, because I want to be around for a long time, and I just to enjoy my family and stuff, but enjoy my toys, and enjoy doing little things like this, man. So definitely, it's all about self-preservation, taking good care of yourself, and enjoying life, but taking good care of yourself, so you can have more of it to enjoy.
That is a true inspiration to
Yeah.
hear you say that. And again, that's what, it's good to come on and make the conversation. It's also to get out, good to get out in the world and be physical and be mobile and
Right.
such. And I'll take that as a part of a cue to, we'll start to wind down for tonight, but we'll definitely come back again. And Crafter, again, I look forward to doing the Wolfman business. We'll have another day, another time where we'll have more faces populating the screen, because again, when we did the Crafter Challenge, and let me just speak on that briefly for people that weren't viewers of Fanboy Cantina at that time. So Crafter had it in his head to put together the Crafter Challenge between himself and J-Spy, the more experienced customizers, and then Fanboy G and me, the junior varsity, if you will, the lesser experienced, and then the guests of honor. We had 3 guests of honor, including MIB as judges for the contest. But
Yes.
anyway,
it was fun too.
that was, again, not before and not since have I participated in that kind of a show in that kind of a way. So that was real good. Anyway, there'll be things with different flavors coming up, and I look forward to continuing to participate in the community. As a spoiler, as a hint, like we could do this tonight, but I'd feel better about doing it when Fanboy G is in with us. But we got, from my wife's inventory, we got the Kenner Death Star. So again, on one hand, I would love to talk with that, just MIB and me right now, but I know Fanboy G would want to be in on that conversation. So teaser, we'll come back to that one in the near future. Let me hit Adam's comment, or Ted. Adam, sorry, Ted. This has been a delight. Well, you've been a major and wonderful contributor to the evening's festivities, and I'm glad to learn of you now. But you used to be just a name on the box, and now I know a little bit more about you. Crafter, thanks for coming back around. And again, sometimes schedules smooth, sometimes schedules need some work, but absolutely, Crafter, we will find a way to get this Wolfman head some paint on him. And of course, thanks to Michaela for being first commenter contributing. Thanks to
first.
Look forward to Fanboy G coverage of Godzilla Fest in the Bay Area, no doubt. Chai Star, as always, thanks for dropping in your Let's Go and your James Earl Jones comments. Also, I see one more new comment, so let be. Wouldn't it be? Can't close out a show without Chai Star saying, when is the next live stream? To be determined, sir. But so I can't say when, but I can say what. But when we get back with Johnny, when we get back with MIB, we got some rapid fire questions about what was your favorite this, what was your favorite that. We'll definitely talk more on the horror hosts of all kinds of. And here comes Jim Campbell, Yawadaba. Campbell, I'm glad you made it in before we close it. Yawadaba do. All right, I'm hitting close out, and then MIB will just chat for a little minute. Thanks for watching. Look for the MIB channel coming up. Look for the Fanboy Cantina channel coming up. Look for Casual Crafter channel coming up. That's a lot of looking out, but let's keep our eyes working. I'm closing us off. Thanks, everybody. This has been